WWM General Manager Dave Edwards, Program Director Bruce Witter, members of the news staff. It's an absolute thrill. My son Luke, my daughter-in-law Heidi, my wife Joan, here tonight. And let me just summarize this whole thing. If I had to, I could tell you that my career basically consisted of trying to take advantage of the opportunities that I received to the best of my ability. Sometimes those opportunities came through my own diligence, and other times just through luck. New Year's Eve 1976 was an extremely cold night. I was in the back seat of a Buick Electra traveling south on I-94. Tom Collins was driving. Don Betts, broadcast engineer, was in the passenger seat, and we were on our way to Northwestern for a game between the then Marquette Warriors and the Northwestern Wildcats. Collins would do the TV. Steve York was going to do the radio. He was an emergency fill-in. The guy that had been doing it had taken a job in Chicago. And when the time was right and I felt comfortable, knowing my background from Merrill, I could jump in and do some play-by-play too. So every 20 minutes when Collins would open the sky roof of that electric and launch a Winston onto Eden's Expressway, I'd get this cold blast of air, and that pushed me back into the seat. I thought, I'm not ready for this. But I muddled through, they liked it, and I went on from there. Opportunity, knocking. I went on to do college basketball for Marquette for almost 12 years. I did the Wisconsin Badgers for 2 years, and I worked at WBTV in Milwaukee. And the games on television, of course, required a different vocabulary. I had learned so much from my radio days working alongside George Thompson, who was so free with his knowledge, sharing and telling me things about basketball that I would never know on my own, that I found another mentor in John Paulus, a former college coach for the Badgers, who was the color analyst in those years. Funny thing about Paulus, he was a big man, 6'5". He had a habit of getting excited when the Badgers were doing well, as you might expect, and he'd pat me on the back during the ball game. And it was really exciting. He'd kind of grab me by the shoulders and give me a little twist. Well, Badgers had a pretty good year that season. And late in one particular ball game, after struggling to come back, they were chasing Northwestern down the court when a shot went up, closing seconds of the ball game. It was Kurt Portman got the rebound, sent it up to half court to a kid named Patrick Tompkins, big guy. Tompkins went airborne for the Duck. Now on TV, you have to really be minimal with your words because people can see this stuff. So this Portman rebound, Tompkins, half court, airborne, free throw line, cheer! And as I'm saying this, Paulus is pounding me on the back and one of my shoulders are on. My wife was not a real big fan of ball games, so when I come home, she asked, how was the game? I said, good. Shoulders hurt. They must have won. A lot of my career was spent doing news, starting out at WISN, thanks to the mentorship of Don Freilich and the ability to work alongside Scott Feldmeyer, who's a marvelous journalist, Gretchen Elke, who was here tonight, and with the Associated Press. Wonderful people from whom I learned many things. And continued in that journey in news until I was hired in 1991 at WWM, where news took a different turn because it was in-depth journalism, in-depth stories that went beyond just what, but also into why and how, stories that provided context, stories that made a difference in people's lives. I don't want to make this sound like a fun drive. There were many, many opportunities for storytelling that I would have never had I not been at WWM. Wonderful opportunities. The in-depth reporting, of course, required editing, went through a process of peer review. It was a challenging part of my profession, sometimes like loading lumber with your brain, but other times stories were just an absolute delight, feature stories that you became friends with. You almost didn't want the story to finally be told because it was like saying goodbye to someone. I mean, that was really some powerful reporting and an opportunity to do it. And I thoroughly enjoyed those years. I also had an opportunity along the way to anchor the morning edition programming for WWL for a little over 10 years. And called upon, again, the experiences that I had had working with Charlie Hansen at WWM. Charlie had a way of welcoming people into a broadcast, people he couldn't see, but yet he visualized, make them feel at ease, reassured. As my friend Tim Roswadowski once described it, Charlie left you with the thought that somehow together we're going to muddle through. I thought, what a compliment. And I tried to fashion my on-air work with that in mind, to speak directly to people, number one, to make friends. Of course, they may be friends I'll never meet, but they're friends. It was a wonderful opportunity to do that each and every day. I want to close by mentioning specifically Marge Petrov, Annalise Hensel, Marty Michelson, Susan Bentz, Latoya Bentz, Michelle Maternowski, the people that I worked with each and every day for many years at WUWL. People from whom I not only learned how to tell stories, but took as inspiration for storytelling because of their dedication, day after day, of meeting the deadlines. What a wonderful association we've had. And last of all, I want to thank, as Charlie Hansen said at his retirement party many years ago, to all of you here tonight, and to all that might have ever tuned in. Thanks for listening.